The family of a man from Derby who died when he was given contaminated blood are now among thousands waiting for answers after a long-running inquiry into the scandal heard its closing arguments today. Katie Walford's father, David Hatton, who was 41 when he died after being given blood infected with HIV and hepatitis C in 1998. Well, today the public inquiry into the scandal, described as one of the worst in NHS history, was told that victims had lived through the worst of times.
The findings come the summer, I'm hoping we'll be able to set a really clear timeline of how we got here in the first place and how so many people's lives were taken. And within that, who is responsible.
Well, our political correspondent Phil Hornby has more on this from Westminster. Phil, what happened then on the final day of the inquiry?
Well, we had the closing speeches today at the end of this very long inquiry that's given us a real idea of the scale of this scandal. 1,250 people contracted HIV and AIDS after being given infected blood. A third of those were children. And around 30,000 people contracted hepatitis, and many of them, of course, have since died. The big question for the inquiry is, could and should more have been done to stop this scandal happening? Here's the man who's been chairing the inquiry.
I have written to the Paymaster General to inform him of my intention to make a further interim report about the framework for compensation. I anticipate that I'll be in a position to do so before Easter, if not earlier. We'll aim to tell you a week before publication when more precisely it is coming.
And Phil, what happens next for all those families waiting for answers about this scandal?
Well, they've had a long wait so far, haven't they? They're going to have to wait a little longer till autumn, we think, for this report to be published to see where it points the finger of blame. But we heard the chair there talking about compensation. He's already instructed the government to give an interim compensation payment to about 4,000 families of £100,000. And we heard him talk there about the possibility of more compensation payments coming very soon. But let's hear now from the solicitor for some of the families.
If this happened to you when you were 20 and you're now 60, or it happened when you were 25 and you're now 65, and even if you get an apology and even if you get a lump sum of money, which of us would live through 40 years of hell and regard that as compensation or recompense? It's not. Their lives, you can't replace a life.
So it's likely there will be more compensation. But Andy Burnham, who's the Mayor of Manchester, who was a health secretary during this saga, he suggested there could be a criminal prosecution for corporate manslaughter. So this saga is far from over.
Phil in Westminster, thank you.